super excited for this one today. We have we got three people. We got myself, we got Craig, the head of AI at GrowthHit, and then our head of growth, Jordan. We're talking about something that we've been working on behind the scenes for a little bit, and Craig's been posting about it, but we're excited to finally kind of show everybody. But it's essentially, our AI lab. We talk to a lot of clients, even with our own brand. How is AI impacting growth? What are we doing? You get excited, you get terrified. And we've decided to go in an offensive mindset. It's like, what is the future of AI first growth? Let's actually build it. Let's not wait for it. Let's try and build it. And so we've kind of tasked ourselves with the challenge of, can we stand up a new AI product every week? And so that's what we're going to hit on. But that's kind of the genesis of the GrowthHit AI Lab. So happy to kind of talk about what we've been working on. But Craig, Jordan, what did I leave out with the tee up for the AI Lab?
I think the thing we also wanted to kind of introduce was this idea that really, I think it's been about a year now, every Thursday we get together for an AI meeting for all of GrowthHit. I kind of wanted to offer up what we're doing with the AI Lab kind of in context with what else we've been doing along the way. So basically, just first base is why we started the AI Lab. And you were speaking to that. AI is transforming how brands grow. Basically, AI is transforming everything, and it's definitely transforming how agencies like ours are being disrupted. And so I guess we could either just stand there and watch the disruption, or we can build into it and lean into it and see really what is this going to unleash for us. Maybe, Jordan, maybe you could talk a little bit about, but every Thursday we get together for an AI council meeting, and basically the leads from within the company from pretty much every focus of the company basically come together and talk about what they are doing in real terms with their clients and what we're building.
Yeah, I think you framed it nicely. Jim, you're very humble to say, oh, this is something that's been happening a little bit behind the scenes. No, this is massive. And so I'm really excited to be able to pull back the curtain for our viewers today. All of those people out there, we know how hard it is to grow an e-commerce business, really to grow any business. And there is so much noise on X, on social media, all over the place on what you should be doing. And so I'm so excited to have a crystallized presentation today here with Craig and Jim. It's just going to touch the tip of the iceberg, truthfully. However, if you stay till the very end, I think you're going to feel very much in the loop, not only about what's happening now, but also what the future looks like with these AI tools regarding growth marketing. So thanks for tuning in. If you are trying to grow your business, I think you're in the right spot. So
Absolutely. And I think, when I was looking at this, I kind of wanted to just kind of preview what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to kind of walk through the evolution of our tools over the last year with what we've been doing in the AI Council within the AI Lab. And in some ways, I was thinking this may actually provide some type of breadcrumbs for other leaders, other companies that are trying to figure out how they should be viewing AI, because a lot of these things are individual pieces that can have payoffs within the company instantly, and some of this is going to seem very familiar. So basically, I just want to go through the different stages of what we've been working with. So I'm going to do the first one, which is these prompt libraries. So everybody is out there using ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or DeepSeek. So this is where we started. This is where really a lot of the world started. So everyone inside of GrowthHit is using AI chat tools in various ways. And probably the biggest thing that we did as a company is in these AI meetings, we started compiling what other team members were doing. Basically, what is the best practices? What are these prompts that are working best for us? And started to collect a source of basically key prompts company-wide that really make an impact on what we do. And everybody's doing ChatGPT these days. I just want to kind of just give you a quick look at how we're doing that within GrowthHit. So we actually have a whole series of these prompt libraries that we've kind of compiled. And the thing has kind of evolved. I'm just going to select one of these prompts. We've actually evolved these prompts to where they're actually little mini engines that run different things. So this is going to be a meta ads prompt library that we use within GrowthHit all the time. And the idea here is that we just paste the entire prompt in there, and you could read it and see how it's written. But basically that version, oh, look, it's giving me this. So I prefer this response. So Jim, we're going to use neat apparel for pretty much all of these things today.
Let's go. I'll take the free advice.
Is it APP? I can't spell apparel. Neat typing in front of a public crowd is terrible.
It is.
So that prompt, basically, all it's taking in is the information for what we want to search. It's automatically searching the web. It's going to basically compile information about the brand. So this happens to be one that we know really deeply, but this could work for any brand. Gives a little bit of information just to kind of preload everything, and then what do we want to focus on particular. And so we want to work on ads that are for sweat resistant. And again, everybody is saying, go ahead, Jim.
What I was going to say is, one thing that has been our stress test for these prompts, because you might be like, oh yeah, I do prompts. We want prompts that are so good and scalable that you can use them for us with all of our clients. And the ultimate test is we talk to our media buyers, we talk to our website team, and it's like, do you depend on this to run the business, to run your service? And if so, we've got a good prompt. So there was rewrites upon rewrites to get this dialed in.
Exactly. And there you go. Quick brainstorm on some meta ads. And is this perfect? No, it's not perfect, but this is real life stuff that we use inside the agency all the time. The prompt library that we use internally is driven from what our team members are actually using. So just wanted to show that this is one of the early things we started compiling, but it's also continued to be refined over time. So
I do want to
or go ahead, Jordan.
I'll add one thing. So Jim, I know you're very excited about Jonathan and everything he's saying about, okay, everything's disrupting, everything's changing, but what doesn't change? And there's a lot of marketing fundamentals, marketing frameworks, psychological frameworks that are built into these very prompts. So we have collated decades of marketing research, really, and experience into these in a conversational manner. So, stage one is somewhat archaic feeling these days in the world of AI. We're talking about prompt libraries, but really wants to expand how you view a prompt library and ask yourself, do I have a library? Would be a great question. Or am I kind of freewheeling it every time, which candidly is really inefficient? And second to that, do I have prompts that really guide me through time-tested frameworks that we know over the long haul are going to be able to meet the audience where they are? So we could go on and on about what those frameworks are, but I just wanted to tease and really let people know how much behind the scenes expertise has gone into these.
Absolutely. And also just from an organizational standpoint, the fact that there are shared playbooks that what is the company up to now? 20, 30, 40 people, like across the world, we're all pulling from the same shared frameworks.
Absolutely.
All right.
And this might be a horrible idea, but you can buy this for way too much of a cheap price to basically get our agency in a prompt. So we're putting ourselves out of business.
Here's a little insight. I wanted to show what the back end of that looks like. The prompts that we've actually built out for the commercial version are a little bit more organized. Like the ones that we use live or get modified semi frequently. These are really like tailored down, the copy and paste, a little bit of tutorial. So basically, this is what it looks like on the inside of that prompt library that we're selling commercially as well. All right. So stage one, a lot of people started on stage one, ChatGPT. Let's talk about stage two. Stage two, I actually, we had some screenshots, but we're just going to talk this one out because it's not very visual. But basically, stage two is automated AI workflows that are happening in the background within GrowthHit all the time. And a lot of credit to Haroon, who is basically the operations manager for GrowthHit. That is just he's been a master of systems building for years. And he is basically taking that systems building mindset, bringing in AI, and basically building out tasks that are running behind the scenes. We probably should do a tutorial on this separately at some point, but this is some people are calling these autonomous agents. Like there's different languages for these things, but effectively these can be built with tools like N8N, Zapier, Make.com. And what you do is you end up building tools that automatically are triggered by things that are happening in your business that then do some type of AI processing and create something. And so, Jim, maybe we can just kind of talk out some of the things that happen within the company on a regular basis. So right now, every sales call that happens, as soon as the sales call is finished, Haroon has a script that automatically pulls down the transcript from our Zoom call, processes it through an OpenAI prompt, and then basically posts that to our CRM, to Asana and Slack with summaries of what that call was. And this is your lifeblood. Like, this is what you are doing all day. Like, I assume you use these.
It's really allowed us to scale our sales operations. By using Read AI, we get the transcripts. We then run it through Zapier Central, where it can be like, hey, analyze the sales call. Was it good? What are the takeaways? What are the action steps? Audit it as if you're a spin selling coach or a Sandler training coach. And oh my gosh, the final proposals are significantly better because of those insights, and we can do it much, much faster. And I think that's allowed Emma on our side to really scale things. And it's just that final polish of, there's lots of APIs that integrate tools together, but when you have that final polish of a smart prompt on top of it to make a decision or to give you an insight, that's really nice. So that's been a huge one for us.
Some of the other things that are happening automated in the background, and this is one that's in progress that's being worked on, but right now Haroon's building out a system that's automatically capturing every winning A/B test and auto-tagging them and making a searchable database, so that when Jim needs to be able to pull examples of A/B tests, he's able to just type in different type of projects or company fits and be able to pull those in for presentations.
Yeah. And another thing people should think about listening to this, what's your data set that is unique to you, that could be proprietary or can make you better? For us, it's the tests that we run on our clients' websites, the ones that win, the ones that lose, so we can constantly come up with better data-driven ideas. So that for us is a question we're always asking: what's our unique data set to add value to clients?
Yeah, and I also love this. We all know what it's like running a service-based business, hounding team for expenses and for invoice materials. So AI is helping Haroon not be the bad guy for every single of those conversations, just triggering those automatically for the team members when they're overdue getting their expense reports in.
Absolutely.
All right. And I do think there'll be a good future subject on this. It's not a very visual thing because it just happens. Like the visual literally would be, we just open up our Slack channel and just show you all these summaries that show up that just let us know what's happening.
And that is the magic. Like, there isn't something to go look at and manage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's talk about stage 3, because stage 3 is like the fancier thing. The thing that we've started to do recently, the thing that Jim was talking about, is we have started, and this is on my side of things, so we have started building out standalone web apps. And we're building those with AI coding tools. There are different tools out there like Cursor, like Lovable, Bolt. There are these different tools that basically let younger developers or potentially non-developers be able to create online tools. And we are trying to do weekly launches with new experiments. And so I just wanted to walk you through a couple examples of these to kind of show you what we're working on. So first of all, if you go to our AI Lab page, and there'll be a link for that in here, that's where we're posting all these. So basically Shopify scorecard, Ad Library Finder, all these different ones are ones that we can just go ahead and, like, this is where we'll be posting them as we come out with them. So let's give you a couple examples of some of these. And some of these take a little bit of time, so we might start one up. So let's start with this one. This is the Shopify scorecard. This is one of the early ones. And again, we're going to do neat apparel. This project was looking, did I spell apparel correct? We'll find
Nailed
out.
it. Yes.
Yeah. So the idea here is we were looking at what the team was doing with CRO audits, and we were trying to look at how much of that we could capture and replace or automate with an AI system. And so this is basically our first attempt at creating an automated CRO audit. We're just typing in the URL. It's going to take about 3 to 6 minutes to complete. So we're gonna like leave this in the oven to bake, and then we're going to show you something else while everything is happening here. Want to see what your competitors are doing? This was another app that we wrote.
Yeah, because a lot of times whenever we're onboarding a new ad account, we want to reverse engineer what's happening in the competitive space, so we know what their potential customers are seeing from a competitor doing comparison shopping. And it can be very time consuming when done manually. So we want to figure out how we could do this faster and maybe even better. And so that was the goal of this one. So basically, if you want to stalk your competitors, here's a tool for you.
So what this does is basically you type in your company brand or URL. It'll do a quick search and try to find 10 competitors that it thinks is close to what you do, identify the Facebook and Meta landing pages, and then from in there, find the link to their ad account. And so if we go in here, and Jim, I don't know if Everlane is a good example to compete with Neat, but there are all of the ads that Metaline is currently running.
Yeah, definitely from like a premium shirt perspective. Yeah.
And we're just going to let this process for a little bit. And each one of these then basically lets you really quickly pull up the Facebook ad account for each of these. And again, this is the type of stuff, this is something a human being can, like anyone can do this easily. You can basically go find these things, but this is an automated process that is one of the first things that people are doing on new accounts every time they're onboarding a new account. And so we're just trying to build these little kind of standalone tools that just kind of help streamline the process for what people are already doing within the company. And then if you create a new account, you go ahead and save these, basically come back. We'll just let this process for a little bit. It'll get 10 to start with, but you can always add and delete them later. And then maybe we can jump back over here and take a look at the CRO scorecard for Neat Apparel. And there is the...
Jim, how do you feel about that 52?
Yeah. Oh man. You know what though? I do like that it recognized the strong messaging. However, we know that those videos are a little bit of an issue on the website, and I saw it flag that. I'm glad that nothing's in red where there's a core blocker. But no, I think that's actually pretty good. And Path Unlock, we actually are working on that. So there's some good stuff in here.
Yeah. And this is one of those things too. And I like a little behind the scenes. We have like been trying to dial this and like figure out like how critical a score we're going to have, how optimistic a score. There's some dials that we can do in the background, just like with any human being in terms of how they might look at these things. But I think they're actually, this kind of like leads into the latest thing that we were just working on, which is, it's a really super simple tool. It's just called Screen Batch.
But it's so annoying to do this without this tool. So that's why
this is one of those things. So I'm just going to type in Neat Apparel again. And this is something that we just created for the team that is basically doing those CR reports. It automatically takes whatever URL we give them and generates a screen capture for above the fold and full screen for both iPhone and desktop. And it also gets a markdown version of this, which is the text-only version. So I can go through here. I can look at the desktop screen version of what Neat Apparel looks like. I can get the iPhone version. I can get markdown, which is, and we've got, this is not a great example for markdown because we have not stripped out all of the code at the top. But there we go, all the words from the page.
And so if you're trying to optimize your website to increase conversion, a lot of times people look at desktop, and that's wrong. A lot of your traffic is on mobile. So you always want to make sure you're looking at it from that lens. And this allows you to do that quickly, to go back and forth to make your website as optimized as possible. But again, before this tool, it was quite manual and quite painful.
So one button to download all those as a zip. So if someone on our team is basically building things, well, look at that, download failed. But when you're showing something live. We also have a little AI tool. It's like an early version of an AI tool that we're building into this. Because little sneak preview, this is like one little piece. The reason that we started building out the Screen Batch is we are trying to create better tools for the Shopify scorecard. We thought, okay, maybe if we download the images of all these things ahead of time and we do a little bit of post-processing, a little bit of pre-processing, we can get a more reliable result. And we can actually dig in a little bit deeper than this thing is. And so basically by slicing off one little piece at a time, we're creating a tool that makes it easier for the team to be able to do the work they're doing by hand. But this is just one step into building out a little bit more robust AI tool that lets us go a little bit deeper. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about around the apps that we're launching?
Oh, for sure.
In this part of the conversation.
I love all of these tools for competitive research. I know one in particular is more suited for it, but I would say they all are competitive research tools. And the screen capture, like it sounds so simple, but it is so time consuming to go into the dev tool, like print the screen. And what I like to do is save. You know, if I get a juicy email going to a really cool landing page with an offer from someone in my industry or even another industry that I'm really inspired by, I just like being able to quickly catalog all of these and easily have an image file in my swipe file. It makes building your personal swipe file so much faster. And then same here with the ad competitor. You can save all of these. So rather than every time I want to do a deep dive or get inspiration for a new batch of ads or really understand, okay, like what is really getting into the psyche of my potential customer right now, I have one spot to go. These used to live in a million different like notes, Google Drive, Notion, you name it. I think just simplifying is the name of the game here. That saves so much valuable time that I think is often overlooked. But maybe other people aren't so excited about the organization. I think it is a game changer.
I mean, a lot of these we're calling these micro apps. These are really small, like one-trick ponies, but these are things that are coming directly out of the conversations we're having every week with our team. And basically, we're just trying to build out. And because we're using AI coding tools, we're able to build these out really rapidly. And so that's the idea, is to basically constantly be launching new projects like this, testing what's working, building out, which I think kind of segues to the more meaty side. Let me just launch this up. So this is the internal project that we've been working on. I mean, I think we've been working on this. This has been a major project for the last 12 weeks. So this is about a culmination of a 3-month process that we've been working on. It is a dashboard system that we are trying to make the foundation for what we're sharing with clients and how we're working with clients. Why don't I let you guys talk about it a little bit, and then I can come back in and we can talk about how we're trying to incorporate this into AI.
Oh man, I feel like for the longest time I've been searching for the holy grail dashboard, and Jordan has as well, that always ends with me being very frustrated and having to cobble things together. But as we kind of started with the end goal in mind, we're like, what are the 7 metrics we need to run a Shopify store? What are the sources of truth? So we started with that end goal in mind. You're trying to run this bootstrap business and scale. What do you need to know? And where do we get the data? So you can kind of see on the left where we're pulling in the data. And so what's exciting is we finally have a dashboard that shows how much money we're making, what is our cost per acquisition, what is our MER, our marketing efficiency ratio. So we know what we need to know to make business decisions, invest more, pull back. And then we have other metrics in here as well. So for me, this has been a long time coming to finally get this source of truth in this hub. But where I'm like getting super excited is that growth agent AI assistant section, where not only are we getting data, we're making this like truly an AI-driven dashboard where we can talk to it. We can ask it questions, and it has the data set we want, 1, and 2, it has our frameworks on how we think about growth. So for us, this is, it's been a long time coming. So we no longer have to cobble together dashboards or use Google Sheets.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because I think in a lot of ways, this growth agent, which literally, so we just have the first working version of this growth agent 2 days ago. So this is brand new. It's not going to show. And I'm gonna just go and ask it something. Compare the net sales for the month of May 2025 and compare it with last month. We just had a couple that were prepared. It's going to do a little bit of it's going to take a little bit of thinking because it's getting a lot of information. We have probably for the last 6 months been trying to figure out how to get data into ChatGPT or a chatbot to be able to do the type of work that we want to do with clients' data. And there are no tools out there that was making it easy. There were too many disparate sources. And really, for those of you that have been working with AI for a little bit, like AI is as good as the unique data that it has access to. So all this work that we have done for this dashboard is really about creating a foundational base layer of common data across Google Ads, Facebook Ads, Shopify, and Klaviyo. With that, now we're able to start like testing a growth agent button that's able to start processing that with AI. Now, you notice it's taking a long time as we're talking. I told Jordan ahead of time that we were going to have to vamp when we click that button, and this is live, so it could, who knows what it's going to come back with. This is the first time that we're actually starting this week to be able to ask it questions that are pulling from the full data set. So in this case, it is comparing net sales from May 2025 to April 2025. You can see it's got access to the underlying numbers. It's aware of the increased ad spend, and he's comparing traffic numbers, decreased ad efficiency, ROAS. So I'm right now, the team has not really started to push this and like really start to layer in what the team wants to do with this. But the big thing that we're accomplishing this week is we are creating a growth agent chat that now has access to these core data pieces that's really been eluding us up to this point.
You finally have like an AI data scientist on call that has the right data set, right? And not having it to cobble together. And by the way, we tested a bunch of other tools that just didn't work, which is why we ended up building this one.
We didn't want to build it. We desperately wanted a tool to exist that would do this. I think we were in denial a little bit. Let me also, as long as we were building it, let me just kind of hit a couple other things that are really cool in here. Not much to show here. Meeting insights. Do you remember earlier when I mentioned that every sales call was triggering a back-end system that automatically was creating summaries and putting the transcripts of that calls? We are doing the same thing in here, where it is automatically watching all the client calls, the kickoff meeting strategy calls, and is basically bringing those details into a meeting insights window. This is only just the beginning. We're basically just starting to actually capture the data that's in here. But as we go forward, this can be the one central place that we're meeting with clients, including having a rolling agenda of topics that we need to talk about, links to all their particular deliverables or projects that we've worked on. And then it'll have all the previous calls to be able to access, and then a growth agent that's going to be able to increasingly be able to access all that, including the top line just dashboard of data that's kind of critical for all these things that drives all that.
That's
Jordan, your team is the team that's actually using this with clients.
Yeah, we're starting to roll it out, and it's super exciting. I think our trust issues with dashboards is slowly fading. As a media buyer and ultimately being responsible for ad dollars going out, cannot be too paranoid. However, I'm really excited about this. I think what I'm most excited is it really elevates everyone in the conversation to be strategic. So for many years, a lot of the collaboration with clients is just asymmetrical information sharing, them sharing with us how the business is doing, us sharing with them what's happening in the weeds. And this makes it so much easier to stay focused on the business actionable metrics to avoid the noise. A big challenge I have with a lot of other dashboards is we spend a lot of time chatting with business owners about what they should even be looking at, because all the bells and whistles seem exciting, but like Jim said earlier, there's really only 7 metrics we need to look at. And then, of course, if there is a red flag, if we diagnose something, then there's other layers of data to go into. But day to day, it is so easy with everything going on to just be inundated, like overwhelmed, drowning in notifications and data. And there are so many problems that we're constantly solving as entrepreneurs. And so how can we make this simple and really keep our eye on the prize, not get distracted, not waste our time following, white rabbits that don't lead anywhere? And I think that's also a really exciting thing about the agent, the chat tool. So when we do notice something, we can have the bot kind of go out and collect more of the details, so we can come together and have a really strategic conversation and not just diagnose things, but really tie back to the business model. Because so many of the biggest challenges that e-commerce founders face are product issues, operations issues. They are much bigger than just the ad platform. So how can we expedite this process and also be able to dig deeper into the business model so that we are doing everything we can to be profitable and scale?
It's interesting. I think the least visually interesting of the things we talked about is the one we're most excited about. But I was thinking about this. So the client dashboard, kind of unifying all the data, Shopify, Facebook, Google, Klaviyo, big call out to our in-house development team, which is basically building this for us. It's actually a huge benefit that it was talent inside of the team that I don't think we had known we could exploit to the degree we have. They really are stepping up and building something. And the whole idea is here basically combine live data with that growth agent, and it's going to be the future home basis for clients.
And I think dashboard
Mhm.
is the wrong word. I don't
Yeah.
know what we call this thing. A dashboard feels almost like static, and you have to like manipulate it, because the goal is for this to kind of be this growth AI assistant in your back pocket that can make data-driven strategic moves for you. So anyway, I think by starting with the data, we're going to be able to expand on this to do some really exciting things. But this will be the foundation of having an AI growth agent.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I love that we can give this shortcut to people. You know, if you're out there and you're like, I don't even know where to start with AI, there's a foundation that you can easily plug into. Like, we're all doing this together. We're being very transparent through this whole process because truly, none of us really know what exactly growth marketing is going to look like on the other side of 5 years. So I'm really happy to be part of this lab and then be able to collaborate with so many clients and our audience. So we all can thrive in this new landscape.
Absolutely. And then I kind of want to like just kind of bring it back to those different stages, because this is kind of a revolving thing where we're working on it. And the big key is like so today's Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday. We're meeting again as a team tomorrow to basically work on whatever people have developed over the last month. And one of the big things we're looking at is we're going to be looking at that dashboard that we just built and trying to work on how we can make it work. So if you look at this, we started out with prompt libraries. Now, the prompt libraries are going to come back into that AI agent, because all of a sudden, now that we've got our own prompt tool that has access to our data, our teams are going to be working on that, pushing it, complaining about what it's getting wrong, figuring out what prompts are going to be like getting the type of information that you want. And we're basically going to be doing this whole iteration again, where we're going to be starting almost where we were a year ago, except now we're starting with our platform, our data, and our clients' live information. And I'm really excited where that's going to go. These automated AI workflows that are showing up in the back end, like I've already, it's a small one, but already like grabbing every phone call, every Zoom call that we have with our clients, automatically putting that into the dashboard, like their kind of central place where they're able to get to access to everything, making it easy for that. Right now, that's not dialed into the AI agent, but there is a potential future in which the AI agent not only is aware of the data, but can actually reference back previous phone calls or Zoom calls we've had as a team. These little micro apps that do different things can be basically going out and getting information. And this whole dashboard thing of having like a unified data is kind of what we've been working up to, like I said, for at least the last 3 months. Now that we've got it, I want to talk, like maybe this is for you, Jim, a little bit. Do you have any dreams for what's coming next? We have some pretty big goals that are maybe years out, but this process I just see continuing, and every time new stuff comes out, we are trying to figure out where it fits in the new world of growth.
Yeah, and I think the way we get there actually isn't having some grand vision that we work towards. I actually think it's these building blocks where it starts to reveal itself, right? Because you can kind of see how we get a little bit better and it evolves and it tweaks. But what I'm really excited about is giving our AI growth agent or dashboard more context. And what I mean by that is pulling in transcripts from meetings, from conversations, where it automatically goes in, because the more context it has, the more equipped it can be to support you with strategic decisions or with execution. Because we already have the prompts, we already have the playbook, but it doesn't know when to deploy those things or in what degree to deploy those things. So it might sound nuanced, but as we're already giving it the data, we then feed it in the context. You're going to really have some superpowers that you can deploy to be faster, cheaper, and ideally better than what you were before. For me, that's what I'm very excited about.
Oh, that's so fascinating because my human ego wants to think that's the safest place to be, translating the business context, the business strategy and needs to the tactics. So that's actually, it's frightening and exciting as we kind of just like run towards this massive disrupting force. Being able to provide all that context within the data set, I think that's a huge differentiator between all of the platforms we've seen to date for growth marketing. That always seems to be the key piece that's missing or underwhelming.
You just hit something that like keeps coming up in these weekly meetings. Like there is this. It is like a roller coaster. Some weeks we will have like a guest come in and basically teach something new that's just come out in the market, and there will be just kind of this sense of just dread of, oh my God, everything just changed, and where do we live in this new world? And then over the next 2 weeks, we'll start to incorporate things into the way we work as a team. It unlocks stuff. Like it is this constant battle. Like, yeah, exactly. Like you said, like racing in towards disruption as opposed to trying to run away from it.
Yeah, run to the fire, right? Just trying to be ahead of this. Because I think a lot is going to change, but a lot won't change as far as people still need a partner to help them grow. How you execute is going to change, but a lot of the strategy and fundamentals will stay the same. We just have to be really sharp with the tools and systems and how we do that.
Well, I think in terms of like the goal of just kind of giving everyone an update and kind of showing what it looks like on the inside, that's what we have to show today. I think each one of these we could do a deep dive and a training around. Jim, just thank you for pulling together a team that's doing this. This has been a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I just like watching from afar with some of the stuff that you and Hassan are building. So good stuff, more to come. And yeah, check out some of the links we sent if you want to see more about these tools or the prompts that we're doing. But more to come. We'll be talking soon.